the reason we called our company RealWealth was the reason it was formed was I was diagnosed with cancer, and they told me I had 6 months to live. They thought melanoma had spread to my liver. Thankfully, they were wrong. It was a false positive, they call it, a false diagnosis. But I went for 3 months not knowing if I was going to be alive for 6 months. We had a 10-year-old daughter, a 3-year-old daughter. So it really rocked our world. And that was the impetus for Kathy to say, what am I going to do here if Rich dies?
Yeah.
So she sought out mentors and found out about real estate investing and said, this is what I can do. So that was kind of the birth of our company, RealWealth. And so we wove that into the fabric of the company. It's not just about making money. It's having the time to be able to be with your kids, to be with your family. When you have enough money, you don't come from a place of scarcity.
Yeah.
You come from a place of abundance, and you're a better parent. You're a better human. I think that's really big. Yeah. So it was like purpose driven. So that's what we're about. We're helping people.
I love that. I
creating
love it.
real wealth.
Well, I want to dig into how you built that all, but before I can't leave that situation of thinking you might die, right? Like what was going through your head? I mean, like were you mad at the world, angry at God, like that whole thing, or were you accepting it? Like, yeah, where were you at?
It was painful. It was like, I remember leaving the doctor's office after I met with an oncologist, and he looked down at his file and he goes, yeah, it looks like it's spread to your liver. And I said, what does that mean? He said, you probably have 6 months to live. And I left his office, and I remember driving along, and this wave came over me, and I just started punching my steering wheel with tears, screaming. I can't say what I said there, but it started with anger. Anger, and I don't believe this. And I came home and walked in to the kitchen, and I had tears in my eyes, and Kathy's just like, what's the matter? Usually I only cry if I'm happy, and so it was a lot of fear. Then I started to just go into the belief of, like, most of the time I was like, I'm gonna get over this. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna fight this, and we're gonna win and everything. Yeah. But then I would still have that little voice that would be like, but you're not going to see your daughter grow up. You're not going to, your daughters, you're not going to see your daughters get married. You're not going to see your grandkids, all that stuff. So then that would hit home. So yeah, it was pretty painful.
Yeah, we have a friend who's, he calls himself a healer, and I just thought, let's just have a session with Rich. And he sat with Rich, and this is stuff actually that Rich was teaching that he forgot for a moment. And this guy reminded him, and he just looks at Rich and he goes, how much of you believes that you're going to live? And what'd you say?
I said, 70% of the time I feel I'm going to make this, I'm going to get through it, but 30% of the time I think I'm going to die. And
he goes, that 30% is killing you.
Oh.
Yeah.
He said it in such, not like that,
but
a very powerful voice. It was booming, and it was just like, he knows that. It's like, you got to be 100%.
He said, from this point forward, whenever that little voice comes in and says you're going to die, you say, nope, I'm 100%. I'm going to be well. This is going to be fine. And it was amazing. It was like the energy of that 30% thinking I was going to die was actually destroying me.
Yeah.
And it was pulling me down. And whenever that would come up after that talk with Greg, I was just like, no, I'm going to be good. I'm going to be good. And it just shifted my energy. It had me be more present with my family. I wasn't woe is me. And and then I got the great news after a PET scan. I had to wait. I did an ultrasound, a CT scan, and eventually a PET scan, which is the most advanced scan for cancer. And it came back and said you're cancer free. So they think it's just clusters of blood vessels that showed up on the ultrasound and CT scan.
As far as the metastasis, they cut out the rest of the
melanoma, they removed it from my skin, but they had thought it had spread to my liver. So
how'd you celebrate that?
Oh man, I was actually at a Christian retreat with Kathy's dad and brothers and everything, and I didn't grow up Christian. I was just like, I'm gonna try this. So I was there. We were doing prayers and everything, and we were actually all in a room together. And my phone rang, and I said, "Excuse me, guys, I got to step outside." And I got the news, so I was just like, whoa, this is pretty cool. So just celebrated. I called my mom first because she was the most freaked. So I called her and just let her know, and then I called Kathy and celebrated with tears and I'm just happy. Yeah.
Well, there's a passage somewhere in the Bible, I don't even know what book it's in, where I think it was Jesus saying, when you ask for something, like ask like with 100% confidence is basically what he's saying. The same
Oh,
exact,
same
like,
thing.
so this is
Wow.
like, this goes back thousands of years of like,
Yeah.
like don't doubt, like you like, expect it, receive it. Like this is
That's
like,
faith,
ask.
right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
faith. It's like, I'm going to, and it doesn't always
That's
work out
faith.
that way, but there's something magical, mystical, spiritual, whatever about that unwavering faith. Like says, no, this I am going to be okay, 100% okay.
Especially when your whole self is aligned with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Greg said he saw it leave. Like he said it left because there was no room for it anymore.
Yeah.
Like
Ooh,
he had made
goosebumps.
that shift.
Yeah.
And I, at the same time, was having that with money because I somehow wasn't worried. Like I'm like, look at him, like he jumps off bridges and he's surfing hurricane waves and jumping off rocks. I mean, I was like, no way is a freckle going to take it, to take him away from me. I just didn't believe it at all.
Yeah.
And I refused to let myself go there. But I also knew that he needed space, and he had been the breadwinner. I'd been the stay-at-home mom. And I remember sitting with our friends, and it was New Year's Eve, and we were all toasting, and I had that same 100% moment of like going from complete doubt, like, what do I know about money? And how we had just bought a house that was $4,000 a month. Now, that's like probably $12,000 a month today, and it was nothing I could
It was our
pay.
first house.
It was our first house. It was just like, I don't know how to do this. And all that doubt was eating me up too, of how am I going to take care of my family during this time? And I don't want to be working a full-time job away from him, if the doctor was right, which I didn't believe he was right. But I remember same thing. We toasted, and I had that same like 100%, I'm going to figure this out and I will be wealthy.
Yeah.
There was zero doubt. Like, I got this. And same thing, shivers down my body, no room for doubt. And every now and then I feel like I'm an eagle. I feel like I'm a human bird, like just going, don't look down.
Yep.
Just don't look down. Just don't look back. You got this.
Yeah, that's so good.